and today we're breaking film on Jaelan Phillips, Miami Dolphins edge defender. Go over why I think he can return to form, and also what that form would look like if he does, get to his what he was before his injury. Can't really predict if he will stay healthy, but I do think I can give a good reason why I think he can return to form pretty quickly in this upcoming season. So leave a like on the video, helps out with all the YouTube algorithm stuff. Join as a member if you want early access. But going over Phillips, talking about his play, I think a big reason why I think he can return to form is one, just who he is as a person. We've seen the work ethic. We've seen how hard he's a freak of nature as well. We've seen him return. So he's coming off two major injuries. One being the Achilles. Achilles was the first one to happen. This Jaguars game right here was the first game off the Achilles injury, and he had the Achilles injury late last season, and he still had a really dominant performance coming off that Achilles, which I actually think he's in this second injury was a knee injury. I think the Achilles is harder to come back from for an edge defender, and in general, I think it's more difficult and actually usually has a longer timeline. The knee injury that he had also came early in the season. It happened in like week 3 or 4. I can't remember exactly when, but it was very early in the season for Jaelan Phillips, and I think that is another probably positive for him returning to form. It gives him extra time that he should be able to, not have to rush anything back. It felt like maybe last year he kind of rushed things back because we didn't know if he'd be ready for week 1, and he played right away. He also ended up getting injured by one of his own teammates, the Jordan Poyer. But yeah, Phillips, very dominant player. I think having more time, just being who he is as a person, him being 2 years removed from the Achilles, I think is super helpful because usually 2 years removed from the Achilles is when guys can actually get back to their form. And I think, the knee injury being like a full year to recover basically with, it happening at the start of the season will be huge for him. And he doesn't, also another reason is he doesn't have to play every single snap. You have such a good edge room. Bradley Chubb should be back fully healthy. You have Chop Robinson. Those are guys that can play snaps. So you don't have to play every single snap out there or play a bunch more than you usually would. You can be a guy that's a part of a 3-man rotation early on. Other guys kind of rotate in as well, play a handful of snaps. That should be very helpful for him. But I don't think people realize also how good Jaelan Phillips is. I think if Jaelan Phillips returns and is at his highest form that he was pre-injury, I think he's the best player on the defense still. There's a couple other players that can, be in that argument and be on his level. But like Phillips was playing dominant level football from an athletics perspective, from a play strength perspective. I think he's got a really good blend of play strength and athleticism. He's got really good length, the size. It's all there. He can win with bend. He can win with quickness. He's a closer. Anthony Weaver talked about him being a closer. This is something he's done throughout his career. When he's needed to close in like that final drive situation, the Dolphins are up. He's done a great job at that. Phillips, very good in those situations. In another area, you're gonna see some of the hustle clips, man. He has one of the best motors I've ever seen. His hustle is insane. But here, this is the first game back from his Achilles injury. The other games weren't quite as good, but being his first game back from Achilles injury, going out there, getting chipped in a big situation by the tight end, getting chipped, and still able to win around the edge on the corner, rip underneath, constantly moving, show the motor to keep working to get after the quarterback. This is why he's a closer. A lot of stuff to work with there. They're giving him attention, man. First game off the Achilles, and he's the one getting the attention from tight ends, running backs, whatever it is. He gets chipped here again, and he's still able to win around the edge, rip underneath, play with really good flexibility in that lower half for his size. Really, really nice to see Phillips, and then just like to see this stuff constantly. He doesn't, finish with the sack here. But you can see he just understands like the angles, how to flatten these edges. Like he attacks the outside and is able to get underneath, rip, loves to win around the edge like that. Even loses balance a little bit, but we're just forcing the QB off his spot constantly. Love that stuff. Here's an example of a hustle play, and also just like a big play to show off because look, he's got hand in his dirt, basically playing as a D tackle in this situation, playing as like a 4-eye-3 technique. This is actually where I would love to see him this year because, we heard Bradley Chubb talk about it. Like they're going to try to get him, Chop, and Phillips on the field, and they're actually like proving it in mini camp so far. Phillips is one that I actually think would be best suited to play inside of all three on the field. I think he has some really dominant reps. I actually think him or Chop can do it really well. Chubb also has good reps doing that stuff. But like, look at the ability to crossface. They love to work stunts. Look how quick he's able to get into this A gap, crossface of the guard. He's got an amazing quickness. Stick that foot in the ground, go downhill, boom, create this space too for Sealer to loop. Sealer gets a clean loop, and then look at him then bend and basically run the corner and look at the hustle. Look at the speed, too. He's got insane speed. Most guys in this situation, I would say like 99% of the league, is not getting there. They're not even showing the hustle or effort to get there. Phillips not only shows the hustle and effort, he has the actual athleticism to get there as well, which is insane. Those are the types of plays, and that's just not a one-off. Like, that is all over his film. One of my favorite parts of his game here on the edge. Left defensive. He does, I think, play better on the left side, which is, a big reason I think Chubb is important this season, because Chubb is your right defensive end, while Chop and Phillips, I think, both feel more comfortable playing left defensive end. They can do stuff on the right side, but I don't think they're as comfortable there. Really good rep here from Phillips. Good job showing with the hands. One, he loves to play in a wide 9 position. Here they get the tight end in this like tight alignment, so he can't get as wide as he likes off the ball. He's able to, dip that shoulder past the tight end, avoid, and then, kind of gives a little hesitation to get back on the outside path. Flash the hands. I love this. Look at him use this work. Flash the hands like he's going to get engaged. Gets this Patriots O-lineman to shoot his hands quickly, and now he's able to dip and rip underneath it perfectly timed, and then gets the sack there on Mac Jones. Also here, he had some good reps versus Lane Johnson. This one is kind of on the right guard too, but I think they actually attributed this sack against Lane Johnson, and that was like the first one he had given up in a long time. But Phillips had multiple good reps versus Lane Johnson, who's the best right tackle in the league at the time. Really good job, just explosiveness to cross face. He feels this space open up. He has a really good feel for shooting some inside gaps like that. He's very comfortable, has the quickness to act on it as well. And just constantly winning around the edge here, hitting that dip, rip. Really good job with positioning with your shoulder to reduce your surface area, making it hard to get the body on the chest. And look at that lower body flexibility, able to bend. Look at that ankle flexion right there. This is special ankle flexion. This is something that you're hoping, like, with him coming off the Achilles, now that it's 2 years, that he can do this at a more consistent basis. Because that's what he's got to be able to do. It gets the pressure on Herbert, forces to throw away. Really good work. He's off the screen. He gets so wide in these situations, basically forcing the ball out of Herbert's hand in this game. He was really dominant in this Week 1 Chargers game as well. Bend, dip around, force the ball out quicker than Herbert wants it. No one's open. This was a big, like, third down red zone situation. Gets a hit. He really was closing in this game, also on the final drive. I mean, also love seeing this. So, one, avoid the tight end. Look at the hard shift right there with his hips. Dip to avoid the tight end. Even after doing that, have to do like a little bit dip to slow your momentum. You're able to still show power, get great hand placement, leverage here, to then, basically forklift the right tackle there, show some power. Be able to win with speed to power is huge. Force the quick check down, really good stuff. He doesn't always just have to win around the edge. Well, I do think that is the biggest part of his game. He does possess the length, physical profile, and some play strength to win enough with speed to power. Like here, using a long arm on Lane Johnson. Look how he mixes up his sets here, mixes up the pace of his pass rushes, gives that little stab to the inside, like he might work to the inside again, and then uses that long arm. Really good job, long arm. Kind of keeps himself clean. One arm is longer than 2 arms. Lane's not able to get like the complete control that he wants, and he's still able to use that to force him back in the pocket, get a night. Like, those are about as good of reps as you'll see against Lane Johnson. He's just able to win in different ways. He can win down the middle of you with power. He can win around the edge with his bend and rip, and then he can win to the inside with his quickness and super, great motor and core strength to work through that type of stuff. Just easily one of my favorite players to watch. He also makes some impact plays versus the run. He can set the edge and do all that stuff, but like he will do stuff where like either crosses the face of an O-lineman and makes a play downhill. He's also able to show instincts to spin out of it, get back and make a play like that. Just constantly doing good work. Has different moves in the bag. Good long arm there to collapse the pocket. Bryce Young's able to escape. Good work here from Phillips. Just great motor to get down there. Sealer does a good job as well. Sealer and Phillips, just an absolute deadly combo. So love Jaelan Phillips. Really hope that he's able to return to form, and I do have pretty high hopes that he's able to return to at least a really solid form. I'm not sure if he'll reach 100% of that form, but I think he will definitely have a good season because of all those things that I mentioned earlier on in the video. I feel pretty confident about that, being 2 years removed from the Achilles, who he is as a person, having the injury happen earlier in the season this time, so he has more time to recover, rehab, and just I think he's even a better player than people give him credit for. So if you guys are new to comment and subscribe.